Hello and welcome to PCB Chat, where we talk with experts across the printed circuit design, manufacturing, and electronic supply chain fields. I'm Mike Buteau, president of the PCEA. Today's show will center around a significant announcement made jointly by Cadence and Dassault Systèmes in late February. The two companies combined Dassault Systèmes' 3DExperience platform with Cadence's Allegro platform in a joint solution that enables their customers to perform multidiscipline modeling, simulation, and optimization of complex connected electronic systems. The firms say this new multidisciplinary approach can accelerate customers' end-to-end system development processes while optimizing their design for performance, reliability, manufacturability, supply resilience, compliance, and cost. We will unpack what all that means in a moment. Let me first introduce today's guests. Stéphane Declée is CEO of the Dassault Systèmes ENOVIA brand, a position he has held since January 2016. He is responsible for all aspects of the ENOVIA brand strategy, portfolio, and business operations. He is also a member of the Dassault Systèmes Global Executive Management Team. Among other roles, he has been Vice President of Research and Development of the ENOVIA brand based in the United States, where he led the acquisition and integration of Matrix 1 and the subsequent ENOVIA launches. Also joining us is Michael Jackson. He's been with Cadence since 2019 and is Corporate Vice President of R&D in the System Package Board Group, where he plays a strategic role helping enable Cadence's intelligent system design strategy. Previously, he led Cadence's digital, electrical, and physical sign-off products. Prior to working at Cadence, he joined Synopsys in 2002 and led engineering for their synthesis, test, and physical design products, and later led marketing and drove their fusion strategy. He's also led engineering for Avant's physical design and simulation product lines and the design technology group in Motorola's semiconductor products sector. Michael has a bachelor's in electrical engineering from the University of Arizona and a PhD in electrical engineering and computer sciences from Cal Berkeley. Thank you both for joining us on PCB Chat.
Well done.
Thank you, Mike. That was a long intro.
Yeah. Well, it's. I don't know that I've had two individuals at the same time with quite the firepower of you two. So we'll see where this goes. Before we dig into what the two platforms can do together, let's describe, in 30 seconds or less, what each of the individual platforms are designed for. Stéphane, do you want to start?
The Systèmes platform are really aiming to help clients, actually, in many industries across three main sectors, for manufacturing, life science and healthcare, and infrastructure to really imagine, create, produce, and then experience products. And all this is done through the platform is really a key element for this to create those virtual twin experiences that support this process all along the way from imagination to delivery and, I would say, experience in operation.
And Michael?
And I think on the Cadence side, the Allegro platform is all about enabling PCB design, beginning with the schematic capture, and then transitioning into the layout and dealing with all the, the data platform and the preparation for manufacturing.
As I noted in the introduction, the announcement indicates Cadence and Dassault are combining Allegro and 3DExperience. For the user perspective, what does this actually mean? Would, for instance, a Cadence user be able to use 3DExperience in the Cadence environment?
So clearly the key point to build to drive innovation and really let our clients and their users at the end everything is done by the users to imagine and create those innovative products is about collaboration and connecting people from multiple disciplines. So in this context, definitely the platform is going to be the place for collaboration across all those different disciplines. And then, of course, for all the different usages, those users are going to use a specialized application, high value applications they need to accomplish their day-to-day job. So clearly for the collaboration and for creating this multidiscipline environment where they can work, I would say, in a simultaneous way all together, clearly they are going also to leverage a platform for the. Yeah.
So just so that I'm clear, users will stay in their native environment, correct? There's not like a third platform now that they will be using.
But each user is staying in the environment of the application that he's using, but they will be able to connect and leverage, connect with other users that they are not easily connecting with today to really drive the collaboration and the innovation that is coming from this multidiscipline environment and products that they are creating.
I think, Mike, one of the ways I look at it is it's really facilitating collaboration across the different domains. So, for example, from a PCB perspective, we have more of this seamless real-time integration as it relates to information on the supply chain. And that can help and facilitate the PCB design process. So this type of collaboration through the platforms and their connectivity, enables and makes and streamlines PCB design in this case.
And if I may, I think it is much more than just exchanging data on having access from the ECAD side to the mechanical context, or from the mechanical side about the electronic components who are being created. It's also really about connecting the users. And I think this is really what is at the end also driving innovation and accelerate issue resolutions, all those kind of aspects that are critical when you are combining and building at the end an integrated collaborative environment.
So, for instance, if the mechanical designer or the enclosure designer is in one facility or one company, and the PCB is that design is being outsourced perhaps to an EMS, they will be able to work using the exact same or almost identical environment, being able to see where my PCB fits inside that enclosure. The structure has to change for some reason. The form factor has to change. They will immediately be able to see that change, and it will work its way backwards to the electrical side, the harness side, and so on.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the type of collaboration that's being enabled here. As changes are happening on, say, the mechanical side, they're seen on the electrical side. And so any issues that, say, may need to be resolved, or having confidence that the PCB will fit in the enclosure, this type of sort of convergence of the environments and the collaboration and sort of this real-time resolution is enabled through this.
And they can even get together, as virtually get together, really work and resolve this as if they were in the same virtual room and looking at the same thing.
Now, reference is made to the virtual twin. Which elements of the IC package and PCB can be simulated? Can we go all the way through?
From an IC standpoint, and from a packaging, and also from a PCB standpoint, which are areas that Cadence is sort of bringing to the ECAD solution. Really, all aspects of this, all aspects of the package board and the IC can be simulated. And it's specifically in the PCB domain, the signal integrity type checks can be performed, thermal type checks can be performed, EM. There's a whole suite of analysis capabilities that can be modeled, simulated to facilitate the design of the printed circuit board, and then the implication for the other aspects of the virtual twin.
And does this extend to the full enclosure as well?
So when you say full enclosure, you're talking the mechanical and the simulation of the mechanical. That's probably best dealt with by Stéphane?
No, the answer is yes. So there are two levels where the integrated definition can be simulated. So definitely at the unfold level, integrating mechanical on creating this mechatronics virtual model that you can then simulate by itself. On the intent going forward is also to enable simulation at the system level, so we can have the definition and validation at all the different stages, from conceptual design down to detailed design of those complex mechatronics products.
What, if any, are the manufacturing elements that can now be simulated?
I think from a PCB standpoint, and Stéphane will probably want to sort of have some input on this as well. But as far as from a manufacturing standpoint, what we're enabling through the 3DExperience Allegro, collaboration, is the real-time access to supply chain type information, which can help in terms of, determining, and this is a critical issue today, sort of given all the supply chain challenges in the world. Part availability, is the part available? What is the cost? So these types of things can be, addressed as part of this. Ultimately, then we will publish the design for manufacturing, and then this is then in the 3DExperience domain at that point. As far as the manufacturing simulation, Stéphane, you may want to comment.
No, but clearly, so as you said, Michael, there is definitely integration for the sourcing part, for the part and qualification of suppliers. There is the integration definitely at the manufacturing process definition and simulation level, and then down the road we can connect also, of course, with the execution part for the production, integrating those components coming from the different EMS suppliers.
Do users need to be existing customers of both Allegro and 3DExperience to benefit?
Ultimately, I think that
Stéphane is smiling, so I'm wondering what the...
No, clearly. So first of all, I mean, there will be definitely a value for common clients, and actually we have already obviously common clients given the market presence of both companies in the manufacturing sector today. But I think it can be also an opportunity for us, combining with this combined value to address new clients, either for Cadence, either obviously for Dassault Systems. And we all know the importance that electronics is providing, is bringing, or is really a growing importance of electronics in many sectors. So it's going obviously far above high tech. And now, I mean, almost every single product is becoming an high tech product from this standpoint. So we see a lot of synergies, and also, sorry, Michael, and also so today we're focusing more on the high-end side of the story for, I would say, large customers. But definitely our intent together is also to deliver, I would say, a disruptive solution for the mainstream market, really leveraging cloud as a primary environment to really enable scalability and access to anybody to those advanced capabilities that they need to realize their business objectives.
What I was going to say, Mike, just to build on what Stéphane had said, is that if you take a step back and you look at both companies, at the solutions that are being supplied by Dassault and Cadence are very complementary, and that we really provide, we're the global leader from an ECAD standpoint as it relates to strength in IC packaging and the board. And the Dassault has all their strengths, which are, really come together almost like a jigsaw puzzle to sort of form a complete picture. On the end market side, there's also a lot of complementary positions in those markets. So while customers of Dassault and Cadence will certainly benefit from this, this creates opportunities as we sort of look at some of these complementary end markets to sort of sell into, say a Cadence solution where Dassault is very strong and vice versa. So I think it's been very interesting for me because there's certainly overlap and synergy, across our customer base, but there's also complementary elements as well that we want to capitalize on.
Is the functionality the same as if one had the full suite of each tool, or are there any limitations or restrictions?
I think the functionality from the PCB and the Cadence side of things it's full. It's the complete capability. There's no limitations.
I don't see any limitation either. I think it is additional capabilities and services, but I don't see any limitations if you combine the two solutions together.
Now, I believe the announcement mentioned what-if studies. What do those entail?
Stéphane, you want to take the first crack at that?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. What-if studies, I think it's a critical element if you want to speed your innovation, because it's also a way to load upfront the key decisions and not wait for problems or regrets coming along the line when you are already done to manufacturing. So clearly, I mean, we are supporting what-if studies at the different stages, from the conceptual system level down to the I would say physical mechatronics design. But typically, I think that again, evaluating different electronics definition and design in the context of at a given milestone, at a given stage of the product development, and selecting the right solution, again in a collaborative way is one. Then you have what-if studies, of course, on the simulation side. Back to what Michael was explaining, and we can definitely also do what-if studies at the sourcing on the manufacturing side to really understand the impact of selecting such suppliers on both your sustainability, compliance, and eventually capacity, your ability to deliver on the committed volumes to your market.
I think, Mike, to also just give another specific example of that. I mean, you can certainly sort of envision you're designing a product and you're manipulating or looking at, well, what if I do this in terms of the enclosure? What are the implications in terms of the PCB? How does it? What's the impact in terms of the board? Where do the components need to move? Does it help? So I think this is like a specific example through the collaboration that can be enabled between the mechanical and the electrical domains. This is a very good example that a team may face such a situation or see the need to have to make a change, and then can go through some of these what-if studies.
Certainly, as the form factor becomes such a driver of the electrical side, right? I mean, just the shrinking of devices all over the place is, is just kind of mind blowing. I'm not surprised to see this type of an agreement put into place. The world of ECAD is fairly large in terms of the number of players, although, as we know, there's not a very large number of significant players. Likewise with MCAD, you can really, there's only a few companies that make up the bulk of the market share. So, when an agreement like this comes about, what are the implications for the other ECAD and MCAD companies that you probably have relationships with? Are there any restrictions to using any tools? Does it affect that workflow at all?
I mean, I can sort of answer from our perspective. I mean, yes, we have sort of relationships with other sort of like ECAD and MCAD types of companies, and But what's happening, at least here with Dassault, is the depth of the partnership goes very deep, and our intention and sort of the vision of the partnership in terms of the value that we intend to bring to the marketplace, we see to be quite significant. So while other existing types of integrations will exist, we're taking it to the next level here, and the benefit of this is, as you were mentioning, Mike, is the complexity of many of these end products that are being designed today. They're getting smaller. There's greater considerations in terms of, say, thermal requirements out of the complexity of what's happening inside the product is growing, and there is more and more pressure to develop these things faster. And that is really sort of a driver of sorts in terms of bringing the solutions together, because it's through the collaboration that we're enabling that it will help address these time to market challenges. So I think stepping back and the value and where we are with the relationship today and we'll be taking it is to really sort of have a very deep collaborative experience enabled.
So I can obviously take a few words here. So first of all, I fully agree with what Michael just said. We have a long-term history with Cadence, maybe 20 years. I remember even meeting myself when I was back in the US. Anyway, so I think we have a long time relationship on the established trust between our two companies. Obviously, we are an open platform, and we have also integration with other ECAD solution. And of course, it has to be done for you cannot impose things to clients. At the end, they are making the choice based either on their legacy or whatever. So it's not exclusive, but the level of connection that we are establishing, the visions on how we want to drive this forward, I would say behind the traditional, I think on the standards integration processes, I think will make a difference, as well as also common activities in terms of go-to-market on trying really to develop this idea of a fully integrated mechatronics environment. So I think that, again, it's about solutions. It's also about relationship, alignment in visions, and also the fact that we are, as Michael said, highly complementary without overlaps, which make all this also more easy to do, obviously, than with potentially with other companies. So I think that everything is matching. And again, it's a people, technology, and I would say a business interest all together, I believe.
So Stéphane, you're right. Of course, it's not easy to do. So, on that note, let's talk about the timeline. Is this ready to go right now?
We have been working on this. First of all, so we already have integrations. I mean that exist between our solutions. What we are discussing now is really to connect our, I would say, on both sides, our next generation solution with 3DExperience on the Allegro platform. So this is being developed. We have already first version ready today that we can show on engage client with, and it will continue to develop obviously in the coming months. And we have an aggressive plan together to deliver on this vision.
I think I would just echo what Stéphane said. I mean, there's value that exists today through the partnership and the collaboration, and the value will be growing as we execute the roadmap going forward, and sort of deepen the integration and the level of collaboration.
What does this mean for the sales channel? For instance, I think in 2020, Cadence distributor EMA signed an agreement to offer sales and support for Dassault's 3DExperience. So, does this impact that agreement? Does this impact the rest of your VARs? Just can you give me any color on that?
I think that, there's, if we look at it from a Cadence standpoint, we have our direct sales channel. We have also, our channel partners that sort of serve different parts of the market. A lot of focus is going to be on, from the Cadence standpoint, on the direct side. In fact, we have some interesting meetings that are going to be taking place next week, across the teams. And we'll be leveraging that, as we go to market in 2022 and beyond. As far as, channel partners, the things that you referenced, Mike, there's not really any real impact, but we'll be looking to sort of broaden in our go-to-market strategy with partners like EMA as it relates to the mainstream, what we refer to as the mainstream. A lot of the focus right now with this is on the enterprise side, with the larger customers. And from a Cadence perspective, that's sold through our direct channel.
Is there any other points we want to make clear to our listeners prior to wrapping this up?
I think from my side, I'm new to the team, the PCB team, and I sort of, as I was arriving in the team about 6 months ago and learned about this partnership, I was very excited about it because you don't see these types of things happening all the time, in the industry. And really, in my view, there is this 1 + 1 = 3 type of benefit that we can deliver to the customers. The solutions are complementary, as we've already discussed. The in-market synergies are complementary. And I think going forward, we're both sides are really looking at having a great impact on product design as we bring our relative strengths to bear on it, impacting things like product development cycle time, product costs. There's so much that we can do here. And speaking for myself and others at Cadence, we're very, very excited about the partnership and the potential.
No, it's clear, and I think that again, when you look at the current status in this market, still today, those different teams are working quite independently, with, I would say, minimum integrations. I'm synchronizing some design content on whatever. I mean, at some gates or some, but it's not really integrated design. As we see again, the cycle times, the type of innovations going on, we see all clients needs to shorten on put down the time they use to bring product to market. So I think that this will really drive the need for accelerated on almost real-time collaboration. And I think this is really the driver to think about what the future of mechatronics design is, on having two companies, two market leaders working for the benefits of our clients and users. Because at the end, I think this is really about simplifying the daily life of the designers, engineers. I really believe that we can make a difference. I am on Dassault Systèmes is obviously also very excited, and we are obviously investing a lot on this partnership. It's not a one-time thing; it will last for years, and we are committed to it.
Michael, you're right. In our industry, in the ECAD space at least, which is where I'm coming from, you do not see these types of partnerships. What happens historically is that a large company might try to team up with a smaller company and end up just buying them, or you see one obviously prominent example was there was an acquisition of two large companies, right? But you don't typically see a partnership between two big players like this. I'm excited to see where this goes. I congratulate both companies for their efforts, because this could not have been easy. It may have been easy to say, hey, what if this seems good on paper, but then to actually put it together, of course, is not easy at all. I'm looking forward to getting feedback from some users as how this is all going. And I wish you both luck in the coming years.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, it's both luck and work.
A lot of volunteers ahead of us.
It's not coming by itself, for sure.
So that wraps our time for today. I'd like to thank our guests, Michael Jackson of Cadence and Stéphane Declée of Dassault Systems, for joining me on PCB Chat. For PCB Chat, this is Mike Buteau. Have a nice day.